Some people swear by this recipe. Others cannot get it to work. This recipe was a viral sensation, but does it really work? Hi, I'm Gemma Stafford, a professional chef with over 20 years experience. And today I'm going to show you how this 2-ingredient bread can actually work, the mistakes that people make and how you can fix them. So believe it or not, this recipe is 2 ingredients. And because it's just 2 ingredients, those 2 ingredients are very important. Let's start out with the ice cream. So if you've tried to make this before or looked it up online, yes, people do say it can have very little flavor. It was plain, it didn't taste like anything. That's because they used the wrong ice cream. Here's what you want to do. Because it's just 2 ingredients, you want to use the good stuff. Use a good tub of ice cream, good quality. Something that has good dairy, high in fat, and also probably a better vanilla than some other cheaper brands. So I like to do Haagen-Dazs. It's an oldie but a goodie. The quality is always excellent. You choose, but I will tell you, the better the ice cream, the better the flavor. So our second ingredient is self-raising flour. Now the reason we're using self-raising flour for this recipe, number one, it has the raising agent included, which means we can keep it to 2 ingredients. In America, it contains salt, which is a benefit to this recipe because we don't have to add in extra salt, still keeping it 2 ingredients. If you can't buy self-raising flour in your country, I do have a recipe of how you can easily make it at home with just some plain flour and baking powder. So those are the ingredients, and let's talk about the method of properly making ice cream bread. So here's what you want. Ice cream that is softened but not melted. If it's melted, your cake will not work and it will be dense. A lot of people online say use melted ice cream, and it's just not the case. So you are going for the texture of soft serve ice cream. There's still some body to it. It's still a little bit thick, but it's also soft. It is not hard, it is not lumpy, it is smooth and soft, and that's what you need. So let me tell you why this is so important. Imagine we're making a cake and we're starting out with our butter and our sugar and we've creamed them together and they're kind of soft. Then we add in our eggs. You add your eggs in, mix it all up, and it's gotten even softer. There's some body to that mixture, there's some thickness, but it's still kind of soft. That is the same texture we need the ice cream to be, because what we're doing is replacing our butter, our sugar, our eggs with this tub of ice cream. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you need your ice cream to have body, to have air in it, just like you would butter and sugar. And that is what's going to give your cake a lovely soft texture. Now, can you make one of these loaves with a tub of chocolate ice cream? Absolutely you can. You can make it with any flavor of ice cream you want. That is totally up to you. Now here's the thing with the flour. I know when we make cakes, I say, be careful not to overmix, don't beat in the gluten. It is so important here. So just fold it in very lightly, very briefly, because the result you should get from an ice cream cake is soft, spongy, not firm. And by really just incorporating that flour lightly, you'll get that result. I recommend doing it with a spatula and not a whisk. So here you have it, the base recipe, the foundation for our bread. This is all you need. Now, if you want to customize it and get fancy, you can add in some dried fruit. You could add in chocolate chips. I'm going to add in, because I feel like this is a really fun summer kid recipe, I'm going to add in some sprinkles and just fold that into my batter. Just a little note, if you really want to bring out the vanilla flavor in the ice cream, you can also add in a tisp of vanilla extract into the batter, and that will definitely help bump up the flavor. When you've finished mixing your batter, you'll notice it is kind of thick, just like a pound cake batter or any kind of cake batter, and that's the texture we're going for. And then into our prepared pan. I will give you a little tip from baking this a few times. What I like to do is use a spatula and really flatten out the top of the bread, because when you don't do that, it actually can bake unevenly, just like that, nice and flat. And then I just kind of score it down the middle so it bakes evenly. So that's it, there's really nothing to it. Now let's get this guy straight into a hot oven. Bake your ice cream bread at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 45 to 50 minutes until it's firm on top. Now, while it's in the oven, is a good time for hotline questions. And because this recipe is quite, I would say controversial, but there's a lot of talk about it online, I thought it would be good to cover a few things. Number one, why did my bread come out dense? Because you didn't follow my recipe. Number two, no, I'm only messing. So why did it come out dense? Your ice cream was melted. You don't melt your ice cream. You want soft serve thickness. Also, you might have overmixed it. So don't do those things. Does the ice cream bread actually taste like bread? And that's a really good question. It should be called cake, but so it's not. It's like pound cake. But The more flavor you add to it, the better it will taste. So you can start out with 2 ingredients, but add some almond extract, add in a little bit of vanilla extract to the batter. You can get really creative. The more flavor you add to it, the better your cake will be. So I'm thinking about the comments I saw online of like the bread not having a whole lot of flavor. And I think we covered that using the good quality ice cream. But another way to embellish or enhance is to dress it up a little bit. So I'm going to make a little icing to go on the top of mine. So I have some powdered sugar. This is really simple. A little bit of milk and a little bit of vanilla extract, adding in a little bit of flavor. If you wanted to make this birthday cake, you could also even add in a little bit of almond extract. So whisk it until it's smooth. I like a kind of a good icing that can kind of be poured, and then when it does, it kind of finds its own way and dribbles naturally without having to be pushed. So this is looking good to me. Okay, we have this ready to go for when our bread comes out of the oven. Our timer went off and our bread is done. And I am thrilled and a bit relieved to see that it has risen beautifully. It's golden brown top, it looks nice and thick. I am happy. Once your cake is cooled, drizzle over that lovely vanilla icing all over. Be very generous and let it drip down the sides. And for a little bit of extra fun, more sprinkles on top. Looking at this bread and knowing what it's made of, this is for kids. It is about ease. It's about novelty. It's definitely celebration and fun. So we know it looks good on the outside, but what's going on the inside? So just carving it, I know this is lovely and soft. Look at all those sprinkles, and do you see that? Cake. We're not talking bread here, we are talking cake. Whatever your expectations were for this bread, I hope I blew them out of the water. And I can confirm it doesn't only look great, it tastes great too. I think I can say with confidence that we mastered the technique for making the viral ice cream bread. Go forward, make the bread, enjoy, it's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again really soon.